what is this? This is like energy just came through. It was about charging again. This is something because I grapple with it on many different levels because I can argue it many, many different ways. But the energy that was coming through was you've heard the advertising theory or the mentality of make people pay for it, because people are always working with your psychology. They're always working with your mind, by the way. This is why there's a sales pitch all the time. This is why they convince you. They know how you work. They know how your mind works. And so they take advantage of it. And they know that if you pay for something that costs you enough money that you really can't afford to lose that money, you'll invest your time and energy into getting something out of it, because you need to justify your spending. So you'll put the time and the effort and the energy into it. And if you buy something that costs nothing, you'll likely brush it aside and get to it whenever you get to it, knowing you'd like to get to it, but it's not your top priority because, you could buy a dozen of them. It's not really top priority, because this is how most people's minds work. And so the energy that just came through was irritating to me because it was somebody who charges a fortune for information that is free. It's free. It's everywhere. We're all screaming the same thing. It's just who's charging you the most, so you're going to listen to them, because it implies that they're important enough to demand that money. And what upset me was, I'm not here for that. I'm here actually to help people. And so, yes, of course I need money. Yes, I'd love to charge a fortune. But what is that actually doing? One, that's taking major advantage of others. Two, it's getting people who could end up affording it, who likely already know a lot of the information, hopefully. Okay, the bottom line was this. I said, here's the problem. The people who actually need it more than anybody else have already been through the fucking battleground. So you're telling them, fight hard, figure it out how to get this money, make it challenging for them to take this and get this information. Fuck you. They have already been through hell and back. They might just need that soft landing. They might just need that key answer. They might just need that bit of advice that opens up their eyes and ears to set them free so that they can rise up. Am I going to break them to give them that? Fuck that. No, I am not. No, I am not. It doesn't cost you a goddamn thing to be nice to others. People forget that. What's the fucking golden rule, people? Right? Do unto others as you want done unto you. And now listen, the reason I can argue this is I understand the psychology of a lot of people's minds. I understand how we operate and how we think. I understand that some of us really do need that struggle to invest, right? Even in ourselves, right? Some of us have to be in the depths of hell to be like, enough, motherfucker, right? I love myself too much, and you pull yourself up out of it. I myself have experienced much of that, but because I've experienced much of that, I also am compassionate to say, you don't need to do that. Here is the answer. Love yourself, right? And so this went on and on and on, because I did get a little heated, because I find some people to be so obnoxious and so arrogant, and usually the ones who should be charging nothing are the ones charging the most, right? And it's like, oh God, you need to take your own course, which I wonder if AI made it, because you're a hypocrite. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's so many that, oh God. It's rich. What was the other thing? Right. Well, so that's the thing. Because it is all a sales pitch, right? People are just working with your mind. They're looking for a way to manipulate you, to sell you, to convince you, to buy into their story, their belief system, their rhetoric, their bullshit, right? So it's everything as a fucking sales pitch, more than you realize. You're tripping over sales pitches 24/7. And and you can argue all the different reasons. This is why it's like, who cares? You just have to love yourself and stand in your truth. You have to stand in your own alignment. And most people aren't doing that because they have so many leashes and ties and lies and other people's belief systems that they don't even realize or recognize. They're not even aware of all the chains binding them down and steering them in different directions. They're not even aware of it. That if you said you're not making that choice based on what you really want, you're making it based on this belief, this belief, this belief, this belief, this belief, but this, and they'd be like, holy shit. Like they were totally unconscious to all of that. We all are. We're all affected by this all the time. And so what ends up happening? The majority rules. Because we talk about there's good and bad everywhere, right? And what I could deem as bad, wrong for me, not my truth. I don't like it. You could be like, oh, I love this. This is so good for me. This is so true for me, right? So this is why it's like, you don't want to judge in that sense. As long as the golden rule is being followed. That's the point of this world, this duality, this contrast. You get to choose. It's free will here. This planet allows for that. And so everybody has creative expression. And yet, but because people are aware of the dynamics here and the psychology of the mind and that you have free will, they want to convince you to agree with them for many reasons. We could go on for this for days. The simplicity of it is the majority rules. So if you're not standing in your truth and you don't even know what your fucking truth is, what you do and don't like and what feels good and what feels bad, and you're all tangled up, you could be on the wrong team and not even know it. You're putting your vote in that box and making that the majority. And then you're like, oh, but I hate this. Well, you went on that side. So, and we had this, I wish I put it out the other day. It was a very similar conversation. And they're reminding me of it now, but I forget the depths of it. But it was more or less that, the majority rules. And it's a shame because it's like every individual should decide on themselves, and you should individually have the majority rules within you. But we tend to not do that. So people are so muddled inside themselves, then they're muddled and confused outside themselves. And they don't know what they're agreeing to or not agreeing to because there's so much cover up and layers of lies on everyone. So you think you're aligning with somebody else that you believe is your truth, but you're not even in your truth and they're not in their truth. And then things get cleared away and more is seen and you're like, who are you? Who am I? What the fuck is happening here? Right? It's like, oh, I should have put it out when we had that conversation because it was a really, really good one. Anyway.
Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.